Welcome.
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 Welcome. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome.
I've got Southern comfort running through my veins.
Welcome. I don't know why.
My mama was the wind, and my daddy was a train. I'm the second coming of the midnight rider. I'm a modern day old soul singer, son of a gun and guitar slinger.
Welcome to week 3 of the 2011 deer season. I'm your host, Josh Nonfong again. Next week we're going to be focusing on October 15th through the 21st, and we're going to start things off kind of like we did last week with Joey and the weather. And he hit this week dead on. I mean dead on. Told me when to hunt. I went hunting, seen a big deer, missed a big deer. I'm the failure story for the week, so I'll get you that here in just a little bit. But take a look at Joey. Here's the weather. Check it out.
Alright, this is Joey with the weather again, and today we've got my weather, I haven't got my weather cat with me, but I've got my weather girl with me, my granddaughter Harper. She's going to rock a little bit with me while we do the weather. And this week what we're going to do is we're going to go through the week, again from Saturday to Friday, and right quick we're going to go through it and basically look at what's going on. And again, Tuesday we're going to be looking at maybe Tuesday evening some more rain. Basically a clear week next week, except for the rain Tuesday. Temperatures are going to be very mild to maybe Tuesday. Tuesday night they're going to start cooling off a little bit. Josh is going to show you a couple maps of the rain and the temperatures. We're going to start getting a little, it's not going to frost here, maybe 45, 40 degrees Wednesday night, Thursday night, and Friday night. And the mountains will have frost definitely. Rest of the time, you know, that before that we're going to be in the 70s, lows probably in the 50s again, pretty mild up to Wednesday. Then we're going to be looking at highs in the upper 50s, mid 60s, and lows in the 40s. So that's what we're looking at with the weather. A little rain Tuesday, basically clear. Good hunting weather, maybe a little warm early next week. But anyway, wanted to dedicate this weather today to Nick and Jeremy Gobble of Tyro. They're our fellow deer hunters from Tyro that we talk to a lot, and we're going to dedicate the winter outlook to them. And I was going to do a quick winter outlook and a preview of what's going on in the next couple months. But basically we're going to be in a La Nina pattern for the next couple months, and normally that's a real early start to the winter. So after we get through October, the first frost of October is going to probably be late in the month, probably the 26th, 27th, 28th. After we get through that, we're going to start cooling off in November. Late November is going to be very cold. December cold and stormy. Probably a snow before Christmas again. I'll go ahead and predict that. Maybe even a measurable snow. I'm thinking 3, 4, 5 inches snow before Christmas again this year, and hopefully it'll be Christmas time. So typically this pattern will last through January. It'll break in February. We'll get mild again, and March will be mild and then cool off again in April. And that's typically what a La Nina does. But anyway, that's all the time Josh will give me for my weather. He won't give me any more. So anyway, enjoy the weather. I'm sure we're going to enjoy it with Harper. And y'all have a good week hunting next week, and I hope everybody kills a Boone and Crockett buck. We'll see you later. Bye.
Now our focal point this week is going to be this here, and this is my muzzle loader. I'm getting it out, getting it ready, cleaned up. What I want you to do this week is shoot your muzzle loader once or twice to get prepared. Season comes in 2 weeks here where we live, 2 Saturdays from this Saturday. So I'm going to shoot mine a little bit, you know, once or twice off a bench, make sure it's on target. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my four-wheeler out. I'm going to get on my truck hood. I'm going to sit up beside a tree the next couple times I shoot. Because what we want to do, same thing with our bow when we talked about putting all your gear on, we want real-life situations. I've never once sat in a deer stand with a bench in front of me to go hunting. Therefore, we need to practice shooting off real-life situations, whether it is out of a deer stand that you prop on a tree beside your house or sitting on the ground off your knee. You need to practice like that. That way you're comfortable shooting in real-life situations, so when that big old buck runs by, You're not worried about it. You're comfortable. You squeeze the trigger and you kill him. So check that out and take that and shoot your muzzleloader a bit this week and see what happens. Now this week's stand selection, we're still going to be targeting bow hunters. Again, it's not muzzleloader nor rifle here where we're at. That comes up in a few weeks. So what we're going to do is still try to get close enough to the deer to gig them with a bow. What I want you to focus on this week, and as far as where we need to get in the deer stand, is we want to focus on does. I think by the end of next week, it's going to be the 20th and 21st, next Thursday and Friday. The bucks are really changing right now. They're in a transitional point where they're going from what you always consider the October lull, when bucks are hiding, you don't see many deer, to a we're going to get on our feet, especially if it gets cold, and we're going to try to find that early doe to come in heat. Now, it's still a week or two early before the does are actually anywhere near ready, and you might actually start seeing some more and more scrapes coming next week. But what I want you to do with your stand this week is focus on does. If you know where lots of does are, let's go there, because it's not going to be too much longer that the first doe is going to come in heat and that big buck is going to try to get her first. A mature buck, of course, is like anything else. He's going to get the earliest doe, and that's the one you want to focus on. So if you can find you some does, I think let's start there this week and see if we can't get a shot at the early buck that comes in there and checks him while he's eating and different stuff. So check that out. Focus on does. Get your stand set up. Keep the wind in mind, because if he smells you, he's going to go the other way. I don't care if the doe is in heat. So keep the wind in mind and get close to the big buck. See if you can gig one this weekend. And hopefully it's Pope and Young, Boone and Crockett, whatever you want to call it. But good luck this weekend. This week's failure story comes from actually me. I'm the failure story this week. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened. I had a certain deer on trail camera in August. I knew he was kind of goofed up. He's been shot or hit or something. Half his horns is pretty, and the other half goes all different directions. But he's a really old deer, and I really wanted to kill him. I haven't seen him, haven't seen a picture of him or anything since August. Well, he showed up Monday evening of this past week, and come out at 45 yards, and I didn't take the shot. 30 minutes before dark, he ate under a big white oak tree, like I said, what you need to be hunting around, at 40 yards, but it was just too thick to shoot. He finally made it to me as it was getting dark. Now, it was legal shooting hours, but I don't know if any of y'all hunt with a bow as much as I do. I use a little peep sight, that way I can be more accurate. When I closed one eye, I couldn't see nothing. And I shouldn't have shot, but I opened both eyes and pulled the trigger, and I missed him so bad the deer jumped and run 10 yards, turned around and come right back and ate in my corn pile for 10 more minutes. And I just watched him the rest of the time because I knew I didn't need to shoot him again and screw up bad. I think I actually might still have a chance at the deer since I didn't hit him and since I missed so bad. But moral of the story here is, don't shoot unless you know for sure you can see good, because you don't want to take a marginal shot, and there's a good chance I might have run the deer off and he'll never come back, and I might have screwed up my chance. So remember that, because you don't want to make that same mistake, that's for sure. Now, our success story this week features Big Ethan, who you just saw coming into this segment. Ethan's 8 years old, and his dad took him hunting in the mountains of Virginia. They got a special youth day a week or so ago, and you can gun hunt if you're a youth under 15 years of age. Well, Ethan's been practicing some this summer with his .22 and with a shotgun and stuff like that, and his dad kept him close range, you know, figuring he was going to shoot 50 yards or closer. Well, out popped a doe, and they was just about ready to shoot this doe, and here come this buck. The only problem is the buck was further away, and his daddy Cale wasn't quite sure about it, but that's the one he wanted. He wanted the buck, and so Cale got him bared down there, and old Ethan squeezed the trigger and dropped the buck in its tracks. It didn't go nowhere with a 7mm Alt 8, and he's got his first buck, and you're getting ready to see a picture of it right here. But congratulations to Ethan this week. He's the success story. And that's basically all for our show this week. And we didn't do a field report because realistically there's nothing to tell other than get out there, hunt oak trees, hunt acorns, but get in the woods and hunt. That's the main thing. That's the way you're going to kill a big buck this week. And be prepared, because in a couple more weeks it's going to really get hot. And I need some more success stories. I'm not a success, as we already know. I'm a failure. But I need y'all to get me some success stories so I can feature you on here. So with that being said, go out, kill your big old buck this week, and let me know how it is. And I'll see you next week.